The Black Bay Pro. Wow. One, I didn't see this coming. And two, you guys have a lot of questions about it. I said to you guys on Instagram that I was going to be doing a video and asked you if you had any questions. And all you want to know about is the size of the watch. We'll talk about it. If you follow the channel, you'll know that this isn't my usual place. I'm in an apartment hotel thing, and the footage that you're going to see of this watch hasn't been shot in a studio with controlled lighting. This is shot at Watches and Wonders, where the lighting is shocking and watch companies have no idea about what's required to capture good content, which is a shame because it means that they lose out on getting decent images out there. To be fair, next time I go to Watches and Wonders, I will be taking a crew with me, or maybe one person, to help with lighting and to help with shooting. But let's get into the video. I'm wearing an Explorer 2 at the moment, and my all-time favorite watch is the Rolex Explorer. With this watch taking clear inspiration, a heavy inspiration from the first Explorer 2, the 1655, I immediately fell in love with this thing. And not just because it looks similar to the 1655, which is the king of all Explorers. Is it? Or is the 1016 the king of all Explorers? Nah, the 1016 is the king of all Explorers. But the Steve McQueen, the 1655, is up there. It's the prince. Just down. But it's not just the way that this thing looks, it's the way that this thing has been executed. I think Tudor has done a brilliant job of capturing the essence of that watch, however pretentious that sounds, but capturing the essence of that watch and executing it in a modern fashion. Let's jump into the specs on this thing, because I feel like the specs are a lot of people's deciding points around whether they like this watch or not. So the Black Bay Pro case is 39mm wide. It is 14.6mm thick. We're going to come back to the thickness because I know that is a big point for a lot of people, but let's just continue with the rest of the specs. We have a screw and crown, and this is a new design of crown. It has 200 meters of water resistance, a fixed 24-hour bezel, and a heavily domed sapphire crystal. The movement inside it is an in-house caliber MT5652. It's an automatic movement with the true GMT function, the retrograde date. It's COSC certified and has 70 hours of power reserve. Now, a lot of those specs you might recognize if you're familiar with the GMT, the Pepsi GMT that Tudor has, but that had a couple of issues with the date function at the start of its production. So early productions, a few of them had faulty date functions. Tudor has now rectified that, and having played around with the date function, watching the date change, that date will just snaps right across and it feels brilliant. And it's a retrograde date, so you're in one location and you need to change to another, and that actually means that you're going past 12 o'clock midnight. If you have to go back a couple of hours, you can do so and it will change the date backwards. The price of this is in line with the rest of Tudor's. It's a crazy price of £3,080 on the bracelet, a little bit lesser. I think it's around 2,800 if you buy it on the strap, but I always suggest buying things on the bracelets, although the bracelet is a bit of a sticking point because this has a brand new clasp, which is superb. I've always liked Tudor's design of clasp, but this has been updated with a different shield logo added to the clasp, and it now has what Tudor's calling the T-fit, which is an on-the-fly micro adjustment. You have 9mm of extension, which if you look at the size of the clasp, I think that is really pretty impressive engineering to get that sort of mechanism inside this very short clasp. I think this clasp is brilliant, and this bracelet is only let down by the faux rivets. That design where it looks like the bracelet is riveted and has these sections on the side, that's all just fake. It serves no purpose. All these links are absolutely solid. It's a very well made bracelet. It just has this very odd design about it. So let's talk about the thickness. In my honest opinion, I feel like the thickness of this watch has become a thing where people are looking out for the thickness as opposed to experiencing the watch and trying it out and making their own judgment on it. So this watch measures, based on Tudor's specifications, it measures at 14.6mm thick. To put it into perspective, the GMT Pepsi measures at 14.7mm thick, so it's 0.1mm thinner than the GMT Pepsi. To add another point here, the IWC Pilot's chronograph, in which I always class as very thick, that's actually 14.5mm thick. The challenge with all of these numbers is that they are just numbers on paper. They're actually quite meaningless until you see the watch. And also, you can't just say, oh, one watch is thinner than the other, because at what point are they taking the measurements? If you look at the side of this, it has a heavily domed sapphire crystal. So at least 2 millimeters of that measurement is part of the crystal. And that crystal doesn't start until perhaps 3 or 4 millimeters in from the bezel. So the side of the case is, I'm guessing off the top of my head, I didn't have calipers with me, I only had about an hour with this watch. The side of the case is probably more like 11 or 12 millimeters thick. So it's really not that bad. And by no means am I saying that this is a thin watch. It isn't. It is a thick watch, but not to the point of being a deal breaker for me. I find that IWC chronographs, their thickness is a deal breaker. I desperately want an IWC chronograph. I love them. I think they are some of the best looking chronographs on the market. Every time I try one on, it just does feel too thick. This watch, I think, the way that it's designed and the way that the reality plays out with regards to the thickness, it just isn't as thick as people are making out. Now that is just my perspective. Don't buy that watch because of the way that I see it. Try it on and see how you feel. I just think, don't write it off just because other people are saying it's too thick. And another point that I have to add with that is, the watch I was wearing at the time is a relatively thick Explorer 2. This is a grubby slab-sided watch. And so I guess my point of reference at the time was a relatively thick watch. Try it on. You have to try it on. Don't listen to me, don't listen to anyone else online. Go check this thing out. There will be versions of this in shops to try on. Just don't write it off because a lot of people on social media say, oh, it's far too thick. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. The last point, and I've kind of saved the last point to be the best point. The lume on this thing is superb. It's a subtle little point. Tudor have actually mixed ceramic with superluminova to create these hour markers. It is just this chunk, this circle, this disc of luminous ceramic material. I think it looks brilliant. I think this is gonna be a very, very popular watch. I just think it's been executed really well. It isn't your typical bezeled dive watch. And I kind of think, I don't know, maybe I'm done with bezeled watches like that. I just feel like this has been my daily watch ever since I've had it. And I'd love to have this as my, I'd be ashamed to not use that clasp, but this could be my NATO strap watch. It's clear that I'm undecided about this watch, but I would like to fit this watch into my collection if it's easy to buy. I have zero interest in pissing about with games of wait lists and stuff like that. I've had enough of Rolex and all that BS. It isn't fun. If you like something, that it immediately put me off that moon swatch. As soon as I saw that there's a queue deeper than 20 people, sorry, I'm not interested. I can't be bothered with that. That isn't luxury to me. Luxury is being able to go and have fun and have an enjoyable customer experience with someone in an authorized dealer. This watch is great. I think that's how I'm gonna sum it up. Don't be concerned about the thickness. It isn't a thin watch. I'm not trying to say it's a thin watch. But at the same time, it's not as chunky as people are making out. I know a lot of you have got hands on with this watch now, so I'd love to hear your thoughts on how you see the thickness, whether you feel it wore thick. On a NATO strap that you could get over at barkandjack.com, sure, it will add thickness to the watch. If you're really concerned about that, then you could get one of our single pass NATO straps over at barkandjack.com. I actually don't mind the thickness that is added from a NATO strap that you get over at barkandjack.com because I feel like it just adds to the utilitarian feel of the watch. But we're all different, and that's what makes this stuff fun. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. If you like the stylized video, then hit the subscribe button down there and that little bell icon so you get notifications when I drop a new video. I have videos on other brands than Rolex and Tudor. They're coming very soon. If you're on Instagram, give me a follow at barkandjack, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care.